Everyone. This is Puneet from GNYPWD, and we are in our fourth episode of the Diversity Dialogue. And today we have a very special guest from Alianta Infonet, which is one of the winners of our Accessibility Innovation Challenge. They are from Republic of Moldova, and their project is titled Inclusive Voices, Empowering Content Creators with Disability Through Podcasting. And the podcast Overcoming Prejudices in Moldova is raising awareness about the challenges people with disabilities are facing while dispelling the misinformation about disability conditions and associated challenges. The producers are planning to create number of episodes exploring the various SRH GBV, that is sexual and reproductive health and gender based violence based challenges and experiences that people with disabilities face. Alianta Infinite will also mentor and support content creators from within the disability community to empower their peers and include a more diverse range of voices to break down the stigma and misinformation. So before I go to Mariana, I will be introducing myself. I am Puneet, and I work as a community manager at GNYPWD, that is the Global Network of Young Persons with Disability. And I use pronouns he and him. I'm right now our camera is off, but to visually describe myself, I have black hairs and brown skin. I'm a South Asian man, and I'm wearing on a black chair, and I'm wearing a black headphones. And so let's go to Mariana and ask about the project and other details. Hello, Mariana. Welcome to our show.
Thank you. Hello, Puneet. Thank you very much for inviting me to your podcast. Hello, my name is Mariana Tibuleac. I'm from Republic of Moldova. I am the moderator of Overcoming Prejudice podcast, a new media product created in Moldova, which discuss the success story of people with disability who have overcome stereotype and prejudice, always finding solution in difficult situation, as you say. Thank you.
Yeah. So, why did you specifically choose podcasting to talk about disability issues?
I choose to do this because in the pandemic year, 2020, made me think again about creativity. Namely, if I would create a podcast in my country, which together with my colleagues, we show that the existing prejudice in our society can be overcome. As I say, Overcoming Prejudice podcast. Is for person with disability, for their family, for NGOs which is working in a disability area. As the moderator of the podcast, is mean I have a guest, people with disability, where we discuss together topics that will highlight the stereotypes and prejudice they face in everyday life, as well as the solutions to these problems, promoting in this way the potential and their contribution to the community. An episode, it's about 30-35 minutes and appear once a month, or depends if we have a lot of interesting subject, we can do it once a week, and is made in Romanian language. So
Yeah, yeah. So, what topics do you plan to cover in your future episodes?
about subjects, it's very interesting because depends about the interest of our audience and the guest, which is open to come to discuss with us. So, the topics that I plan to cover in my future episode is access to information of persons with disability regarding their sexual reproductive health. Since we are in an election year in Moldova, I plan to discuss what access do people with disability have to electoral platforms, representatives of political party that have accessible platform and that do not have accessible platform. So another subject is ensuring equal voting conditions for people with disability in the Republic of Moldova, uh, as we discuss also in our NGO, Alianta Infonet, about experience and personal practices of persons with disability who have been elected to public offices. Why over the year do we have so few people with disability in parliament, in ministries, and other high positions? But in this month, I will give the access for my listeners to know more about the sexual reproductive health of persons with disability, and I plan to participate in a regional conference about this, and I will come to present a new information about this subject.
Yeah, thank you, Marian. That is very interesting. And also, like, tell us, like, how do you pick the people who talk on your podcast?
Oh, because I have already been active in the field of disability for more than 10 years ago, either as a civic activist or as a trainer or expert in various NGOs active in disability in Moldova, which made me have many partnership resources, contacts of people with disability with whom we were participant or whom we interview in the Overcoming Prejudice podcast. Also, because I have a disability, locomotor disability, I was born with infantile cerebral palsy and I have mobility problem. And because of that, I use a walking frame. I have a lot of friends with disability, and so for me, it's not a problem to pick the people with whom I can talk in my podcast. Thank you.
Wow, wow, wow. Yeah, that is great. And like, do you have any stories or examples, like maybe where your podcast changed someone's mind about disabilities or anything like that? Some example of that?
Okay, yeah, podcasts have the power to change stereotypes, raise awareness, and promote understanding and empathy, which can lead to change in participation and attitudes toward disabilities. One woman were sharing their personal story of triumph and success to have a children, for example, to have a notary, personal notary, to be a first lawyer woman in wheelchair here in Moldova. Hearing this story can inspire empathy and break down stereotype, showing that disability doesn't define a person potential. For example, a podcast discussing autism is another example. In autism spectrum disorder might explain the diversity of experiences within the autistic community, challenging common misconceptions. So I can the podcast have the power to change the life because here we present the real story of life of a person with disability, which are inspiration for other person with disability, and not only for person with disability, can be also for a person without any problem of health. So, thank
Yeah,
you.
this is amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that. And also, like, you talk about sexual and reproductive health and gender based violence in your podcast, and can you explain what these are and why they are important?
Of course, is important because this point of view are important topic that often come up in podcasts, and they address critical aspect of public health and social well-being. Podcast create a platform for survivors to share the story, for experts to provide guidance, and for community to engage in conversations that challenge harmful norms and promote healthier, more equitable societies. These topics are important also because they touch on fundamental aspect of human rights, no? About health, about gender equality, and addressing them is crucial for building more inclusive and just societies. Also, access to information and service related about sexual reproductive health empowers people to make informed decisions about their sexual and reproductive choice. Also, promoting this often intersect with gender equality and women's rights. It involves ensuring that individuals, regardless of gender, they have control over their reproductive choices and they can access healthcare service without any discrimination, any stereotypes and prejudice. This right is recognized as a fundamental human right. It encompasses the right to privacy, bodily autonomy, and access to health care service without any discrimination or any coercion. It's true? How do you think?
Yes, I absolutely agree with you 100%. And also, like, we know that you are also helping other people with disabilities to make their own podcast. So how you are helping them, how you are helping in them in their training?
Yes, in the starting this podcast, you describe our wonderful project. In this autumn, we develop a training course, Inclusive Voices, empowering content creators with disability through podcasting. Encourage other 10 new content makers with disability which want to start their podcast by training and mentoring them in how to do it, and for three of them give a mini grant for technical support. Creating a proper environment for podcast content, advance by developing technical requirements and practical tools for it, and train content creators to lower the barrier for content creators to entry into public radio, allow for more diverse voices and for freedom in storytelling formats. So the participants are very open heart and open mind to know more information about podcasting. And for me, I was very impressive that they are so interested in this area. They want to make their voices be a power in our country, and that is important.
Awesome, awesome. That is so wonderful to hear. And the last question of the interview would be, what is your big long term plan for your podcast? What is your goal?
Oh, my big goal for overcoming prejudice podcast is create episodes that provide accurate and in-depth information about various disabilities, about their causes, effects, and experiences of individuals living with them. This can help dispel myths and misconception, as I say. Goal would be to create a ripple effect of change in the first in societal attitudes, leading to a more inclusive, accepting, and emphatic world where individuals with disability, like me, are respected and included as equal member of society. By combining storytelling, combining education, advocacy, community engagement, this podcast can contribute significantly to breaking down prejudice related to disability. So, thank you very much for this opportunity to apply for this project, Accessibility Inclusive Innovation Challenge, because it's true, it's a real possibility to make the voices of persons with disability from Moldova to be a power in our country. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mariana, for your work. Your project is indeed very impressive, and we are looking forward to it. So, I would like to tell all the listeners that you will be getting all the links to contact Alianta Infonet in our description box. And
Thank
if you
you.
want to contact Mariana, and the team, you are always free. Please get in touch if you have any ideas, if you have any feedback for her. And until the next episode, I would like to say take care, and we will be soon back with some other interesting guest. Thank you so much, everyone. Bye bye. Take care.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me to your podcast. Thank you again.